Someone told me this recently at a party. Fascinating fact. See what you think of it, Carl. He told me that apparently, if you've got time on your hands, you can put your fist inside someone else's arse, and then you can work your hand very slowly up through the person's body. It takes about 2 hours, apparently, and eventually, it's what he told me, you can touch that person's heart.
Right.
Right, and it's like the most intimate thing you could ever do with someone else.
That's bollocks.
That's what he said. That's what
Well,
a
how
bloke
could you
said.
touch their heart? One, the alimentary canal is about 30 foot long, so you'd have to either have 30, you have to be Mr. Tickle, right? Or you'd have to be rolling up the alimentary canal as you go, like a stocking on a pole, right? And then when you get up there, how can you touch the heart? You'd have to rip through the esophagus, which would kill them. Okay, if the arm going all the way up their alimentary canal the wrong way didn't kill them.
I like the idea of someone saying that to a loved one. Alright, love. Love, little surprise for you. The kids are at your mother's.
Yeah.
I've put the phones off the hook.
They're out for 2 hours.
They better be out for 4, because I'm going to need to get it back out again.
Yeah. Where's the Marge?
It's like, imagine the doorbell goes, you've got to sign for a package.
Who told you that at a party? A psychopath.
I don't know. And then he was convinced it was true, because he went online to try and, even when we were at a party, he found a computer and he started typing in fist, heart stuff. And I said, you better delete that, in case the person whose computer finds
fist,
that.
heart.
Fist, heart.
Also, if the aim is to touch the heart, right, go via the mouth, it's shorter. Let's pop it down the mouth. Yeah. Kyle, thoughts?
I mean, it's getting to know people. I mean, do you know how people say, oh, you shouldn't use a toilet with the door open and all that, because it ruins,
What, the
like,
mystique?
knowing too much and everything, but that, for me, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
But you know me, I mean, I've got nothing against gays and that, but they puzzle me to this day. There's still things that happen when I go, what is all that about?
Like what?
I went to, what's her name? Harley Street. I went for a checkup. And like a medical. Posh, you know Harley Street, it's like it's the top doctors, isn't it? I've never been before. All posh buildings and that. Went up to the counter. I said, here, see the doctor. They said, name, give us 10 minutes, go and wait in the waiting room. Dead posh waiting room. Dead fancy. Big leather furniture and that.
Yep.
Loads of magazines. I mean, like a newsagent's. In the middle of the room on a table. Loads of them. So I'm looking through, and there's the top quality ones, your Esquire, GQ, Classy, Yacht Weekly, all that. Country Life. Boys.
Boys?
There's one there, yeah. Boys. What's that? Right, lifted up like the one on top of it, and it's like Boys with a Z. Two fellas stood there, looking sort of Italian looking.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember Brother Beyond? That sort of look.
Right.
Yeah.
Sort of greasy hair.
It's a cracking reference there.
Dungarees on.
No shirt though.
No shirt, just dungarees sort of unbuttoned, hanging down a little bit.
Sure.
So no one else is about. I'm never going to buy a magazine like that.
You're going to tell us you looked through a magazine?
I had a little look, just because I thought, like I say, it's one
You're
chance.
always looking to learn, aren't you? You're always looking to learn.
Yeah.
Always open. There might have been something in there that I go, right, I get it now. I understand why they like doing that or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So she said I was going to, 10-minute wait. I can have a quick flick through. Picked it up, had a look. Still none the wiser.
Why?
Well, what did you see when you opened it up?
Just loads of. I mean, like I've said to you before about, I don't know why they like looking at knobs when they've got one of their own.
Right.
There's no surprises there. You're not going to go. Oh, right, so
Sure.
that's nice. Lots of that.
Yeah, they can't get to it, can they? They can't get to their own.
Who can't?
Well, if they want a little chew, little nosh, they can't get to their own, can they? They break their back.
But they can't get to this, fellas, in the magazine. It's only a picture. They're just looking at it. They might as well look at their own. That's what I mean. Yeah, just have a look at it. They just stood there. They're not up to anything. They were just sort of stood there. Some had, like, car oil on the face. There was one sat on a, don't know, just like a mechanic type thing. Car oil on the face and, like, rubbed on the chest and that.
Sure.
Not about. Yeah. There was someone sat on, like, one of them square things of hay.
Oh, yeah.
Sat there, like, sort of sat on it, straddling it.
Yeah. That must have been uncomfortable.
Again, knob out.
Yeah, just looking like it's normal.
That's
Sort of
crazy.
like
No
that.
farmer walks around like that.
What was the other one? There was motorbike. They always like them.
Yeah.
And I'm going through and then like the content is all puns.
Right.
It's all it's a couple of weeks ago. Should I wrote some down? Everything was to do with knob.
Right.
That's the only bit they're interested in the male body.
Look at this bloke
It's
straddling
not-
this huge throbbing thing. The bike's not bad either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all that,
yeah.
loads of them. It was just cock, just 100%. Like let's just talk about the knob.
That's a good name for a gay magazine.
100% cock.
100% cock.
Did it not at any moment sort of maybe slightly unnerve you that the doctor might come in and see you reading boys?
No,
Or-
because I
or
wasn't.
what about if I walked through? Because I remember once when you were in hospital about to have a tube going down your knob, and you were sitting in your pants with stockings on, and I walked through and you were horrified. So what if I'd have walked in then and went,
Yeah,
God,
I
what are you
would have
doing?
just said, "Look at this. Look at this. It's free."
And I said, why did you bring that with you?
No, I would have just said, "Look, does it look like I brought it with me?" Look
Yeah,
at this.
yes, it does.
Well,
Because
what-
I've never,
what? So you
because
look
I would
at,
never see, you would never see a gay magazine in a doctor's waiting room. So I think you bought that and pretended that it was
that's
there.
the thing. I was amazed by that because there was no there was no Mayfair or anything. They just catered for like if you wanted a bit of knob action. It was really, I could have complained. So if you're gonna have this, where's a bit of the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a bit of this. Where's a bit of the other?
I know one of the things that they had, and I thought they're really struggling with like ideas. They had a Sukoko.
As in Sudoku.
Yeah.
Sukoko.
Surely Sadico is better.
No, because it was like Sukoko.
Yeah, but it's Dick as well.
Subdico.
Yeah.
What? And it was still a Sudoku style puzzle, but it just had that name.
Yeah. It's just
So
everything.
It
is
was
all
just Sudoku, but called Coco. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Now, if I was gay, do you know, like
Let's
you
have a
say,
game of Lubo. Let's have a game of Knobopoly.
Noberation.
Operation. Let's have a game of chess. Cock. Let's have a game of fuckaroo.
Well, that works for either sex.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how we spend our
Okay then,
Christmases.
fuck a poo.
Oh god. Oh god. Human intimacy is a very strange thing because kissing is a bizarre thing, isn't it really? I mean, I don't know what the evolutionary origin of kissing is. You know what I mean? It's quite a sort of strange...
it's like anything,
It's
though,
a
isn't it?
strange thing.
It's because if you start reading about all the weird stuff that goes on, like people who have it away with dead bodies and that, it's because you've planted the seed in your head, and you start going, "Oh, I'll give that a go." Like food, you either want an olive or you don't. Some people will go, "I'll try it." Some will go, "They're not for me."
Do you want an olive? No, but you can shove your hand up my arse so far to touch me up. You haven't got any olives. I have got some olives, but if you are fed up with olives, I've got an arse here going begging, and 30 foot along the animatrix now is a little heart I'd like you to
Yeah,
touch.
but the thing is, if you give that a go and you enjoy it, then you want to do it again.
Right,
And you've created
do not
stuff.
try and do that. Do not try and stick your hand so far at someone's arse you can touch their heart. There is no point to it. It is a myth that it could happen. You would end up murdering
It's a
someone.
sorry state of affairs where you've got to put that message out there.
yeah. But that's it, isn't it? That's the other thing, isn't it? That you don't hear of animal fetishes and animal phobias. You know, you don't get a lion who's a little bit nervous of antelope. I don't like antelope meat. And yet you have people here who are all those weird things of people who can only have sex with a pavement. Which is a good thing to, you'll never be lonely unless someone suddenly drops you on a desert island and you go, I'll never see a pavement again. What do you think of that? Those people that just think,
Well, they're just idiots, aren't they?
There are some weird...
You've got some clever ones, you've got a lot of divs. There's more divs on the world than better ones.
Wow, that's a brave sentence to say.
yeah, he's right though. He's right. As gobbledygook as that was, he's absolutely right. I think Carl isn't a div. I think he's a better one, but doesn't know it. I think it's strange because I think that he's got all the other evolution of the human being, but he doesn't know which side his bread's buttered. He doesn't realise he's cleverer than he is. The number of times I find a theory that he said in gobbledygook, but it's true. I think that I think he's been dealt a bad hand in the brain department. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thoughts, Carl?
Well, your brain's in 2 bits, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wonder if one half is really good, the other half's messing it up.
Yeah.
That's how I
That could be
feel
the case. That
sometimes.
could be the case.
Yeah. Well, it is split into 2. Yeah, and they are responsible for different things.
Yeah.
It's like these sort of families where there's a kind of really bright kid and then a sort of wayward child who just gets into drugs and stuff. Sort of like that up there
Yeah.
in your head.
Because you have quite sort of out there nebulous thoughts, and you've got a lot of common sense, haven't you?
And just having that that other sense of like, this is dodgy.
What spider sense?
Just that sense where you just go, I don't know why, but something's telling me we shouldn't be here. And you go, alright, let's go.
I didn't think that. I knew he'd hate it, and that's why I did it.
Couldn't stand it. There's no broadening of the mind going on. I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that? What does that say mean?
What do you think it means?
Well, just, I don't know, I was expecting a bit of mind broadening.
I summed it up!
I had an injection to sort of protect me from dirty chimps. Learn English, all pulled together. Anyway, what was my point? Pyramids. Whoa, hang on a minute. Let's just call them the pyramids. Let's have a look how great they are.
Yeah!
I mean, in a few words, your gut reaction.
Yeah,
Your
gut reaction isn't wise, because it still hasn't settled since all these places. I don't think that's going to have a clue.
Right.
So they can build the Great Wall, they can do a massive big wall, but they can't be asked putting MDF doors on. Doesn't make sense. But again, that's just China for you. I saw this fat worm. It's like, why would he have made that? At what point? He did all this in 7 days, they say. When did he do? That's at the end. I reckon that's in the afternoon of the 7th day when he's going, I can't be arsed with this. Let's just make a little bit of a blob with a head on it. I mean, really weird looking stuff that you go, I don't know what it's doing in the world. In the end, they ate one.
Oh, God!
How old are you?
Oh, well, I'm 72.
Right, well, you don't...
23.
Oh, to be quite honest, I thought he'd be a bit more virile. Even though he's 23, his penis is actually 102. Why did he have that put on? Why did he have it put on?
Is this any use? I don't know what this is.
It reminds you of the globe.
That's where we got the idea from, wasn't it? To send him around the world.
Well, China. It's the greyest place I've ever seen. I don't know why anyone would go, oh, that's look at the grey there, let's see it in HD, it's even greyer. How grey? I don't understand. China, dreadful.
That's China! That's summed up! No, nothing wants your penis.
You'd be surprised. Honestly, there's some weird stuff out there. Do you know these fish in the Amazon that go up your knob? Now everyone's saying to me, you've seen the Amazon? That's amazing. Well, how come the stuff that lives in it doesn't want to live in it? They'd rather live in my knob than live in the river. So you're telling me that I'm meant to be lucky? That's what I'm saying. Nowhere's safe. I think his family will be there going, what's he brought last time? He brought some great presents, some fags and some spuds. What's he got now? He'd go, there's nothing. I've got your fridge magnet. Nothing. I didn't bring anything back. I very rarely brought anything back as a little memento.
Did you bring Suzanne, your girlfriend, back anything from these trips?
Yeah, I got her like a turtle that you blow into its arse and it makes a tune, but she hasn't played with that.
Oh, God! That's amazing! That's amazing! Oh, fuck me. You are the strangest man on the planet.
You haven't been to China.
Thank you. Good night.
Chicken. Why is it orange in Chinatown? Just the slightest thing. The chicken is orange. They eat anything. You know what I mean? Octopus. Toad.
He just made that one up!
No, their alphabet's not like ours. Theirs like like someone testing out a biro. Everything's... There's no logic to anything that they do. Everything that we've done, they've gone, right, we're going to do it weirder. That's how it comes across.
I'll just give Suzanne some
No,
flowers.
because she'd be going, oh, aye, what's been going on? If I built her that, she'd be going, what's been going on? Are they the oldest thing on the world? It's like a pylon to them, that. You get sick of it.
It's accessible by an 11-hour trek through the mountains.
Well, that's not accessible, is it?
That's true.
Delivery drivers moan at me, just because I'm on a second floor. So if you're up there, they're going to have a right whinge on to get to. The conceit of this ball-achingly dull series. You must get a twinge and go, oh. I always get emails from people going, are you coming out next week? I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
What are you talking out for, Carl? How's Suzanne?
I'm not with her anymore. Sorry. If you're not happy looking a knob in the face, there's something wrong. You should be comfortable with it. Just there you
It's
go.
a good rule
look.
of thumb. So...
Some bollocks on a stick. What are you doing? And he goes, got a head like elephant. Elephant Baba, three down. So it's convenient. I learned that babies in China, a lot of them have square heads.
Right, go on.
We're going to kill this kid if you don't give us the 5 million.
How
We're
can you call
getting
him a
sick
kid?
of him.
Why? What's he doing?
He's just shouting Congress tart. Give him the money. Give us the money.
Okay.
I wouldn't have got him to call you, actually. There's no way. There's no way. It's an idea.
I'm out.
So to be a Hell's Angel, you've got to shit in your pants.
Your mum giving you...
So shit in your pants and keep them on for a week. So, yeah, my dad said me Auntie Nora could have joined then. But,
One of my first disappointments with football, I was 10 years old, okay, and one of the teachers was in charge of the football team, my junior school, and I went down to Tutty's, it was, a shop in Reading with my mum. So it's white socks, black shorts, white shirt, like that, got that. Knocked on his door. I said, I've got my kit. He went, well, the trials were yesterday. You've missed it. That was it for a year. Right? Next year, when the trials, got the trials, okay? He was going, everyone, I want to give it 100%, right? Really try hard. He's watching people play, right? I made sure that every time I ran by him, I was out of breath. Like, really trying. Every time I ran by him, he sort of looked at me, I think, yeah, right. Came to it, he said, the team is this, I'm left out, right? He went past me, and he went, you've clearly got asthma.
So you didn't make that team either?
Yeah, and I didn't, and I vowed that day, never try hard at anything.
Yeah, well, you've certainly kept that up.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that, Carl?
Do you play sport at school?
a little bit, but it was never taken seriously at school anyway. It was, I think the PE teacher was a geography teacher as well. So it's like, you know, what does he know? It was all that. Basically, he put some tracksuit pants on that were always too tight for him. Could see everything.
What were you looking at?
Because you couldn't help it. It was in the days when clothing was tight as it is, and then it was like lycra tracky bottoms.
Oh, right.
And everyone used to say, look at the state of that.
But like he's stealing sausages from
it was ridiculous.
Londis.
Ridiculous. So he didn't know what he was doing anyway. If anything, it was dangerous, because he didn't know what was the capability of a 10-year-old kid's body. Right. He put you through loads of stuff.
Right.
He didn't like me anyway because I wasn't that good. If you're not that good, teachers don't like you.
I thought you'd be pretty good.
I wasn't interested. That's the thing. I did relay and I got done for swearing. Got whacked on the arse with a baton.
Hold on, what were you swearing in relay? When did that come into it? When did you need to swear in relay? You're running round, how do they know
because
you're
the lads
swearing?
wouldn't slow down, so I couldn't pass it on. So I sort of said, "Fucking slow down," and he heard me, and then went mental at me. But yeah, so it was never. I mean, Darren Campbell, the athlete, I've told you, I don't know that I was involved in his training.
No. Didn't know about this.
Yeah, Darren Campbell, I think he won a gold medal.
Didn't he used to push you around in a bath or something?
Oh, it's not last of the summer wine. It was in my go-kart.
Right.
And it was a motorised go-kart, and you had to like pick it up at the back, run with it at speed, and then drop the wheels down and the engine kicked in.
But hold on though, that means you always needed 2 people to get you going on a go-kart.
No, one. He did it.
Well, where were you?
Sat in it.
Well then you did need 2 then to get it going.
What are you on about? I was sat in it.
Yeah.
He picks it up, runs with it,
Yeah.
drops it down, wheels start, engine starts, off I go.
But what would you have done without him?
Well, I couldn't have done it.
So you do need 2 people then for this motor
Well,
race
one
to go.
person. I'm sat in it.
Yeah, but counting you, it's 2 people needed.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
what's so bad about that?
Well, how can you have a play with yourself then? And you go-kart.
Sorry, this was part of his official Olympic training.
No, but I just feel like that was part of his early training,
Right.
which is the important bit in any, job or
Well, no, we
walking
should
life.
explain, for people who don't know, he was the bloke who used to push the bobsleigh in the Winter Olympics, wasn't he, for the England team?
No, he was a runner.
Well, how is that part of his training then? Pushing a fucking go-kart?
What was he doing?
Because it's running.
But he's running about a yard.
No, sometimes more than that. Quite a lot. And it's just, God, what do you want? It's Darren Campbell pushing me go-kart.
Yeah, but you seem to be taking half the credit for his gold medal. All you've done is sat on your arse, you lazy twat.
I just kind of think he was at the age where it's important. He could have made a decision not to go into it at that point, and I think he was never keen to get in the go-kart.
Yeah.
He was always keen to push it, and I used to let him. Now, if I said, no, I don't want you pushing me go-kart, who knows? I'm just saying I was there at the start.
Doing nothing. Providing nothing.
Sitting on your arse.
Sitting around. Letting someone else
all right,
do it.
what athletes have you helped?
Well, I didn't know this was let's do a podcast about athletes we've helped.
You've not helped him, Carl.
I'd have come prepared.
I bet if he ever did a book, an autobiography, he'd go, the early years, Darren Campbell.
Now, I want to know if he has done an autobiography, because we're going to be looking this up.
I remember the training
I'm making a note of that
In
for
all
the next
weather.
time we do anything.
round at Pilkington's,
Darren Campbell.
pushing a go-kart.
Pushing. Bald.
You weren't bald then, were you?
No,
Had
Didn't
lovely
have-
little hair of
no.
Chinaman.
Didn't have
Orangey
very good hair.
twat. In. Crap. Cheap.
Wasn't.
Go-kart.
120 quid it was. You know how many paper rounds that is?
What I like when you're watching football on the television is if it goes to a close-up of a footballer, it's just kick the ball out, missed the goal, it's gone for a free kick or whatever. If you stay on any footballer for more than 10 seconds, they will either swear or gob.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact.
Oh, yeah. I've never needed to gob that much.
It's
I don't
we-
care how knackered I am, I'm never gobbing like that.
It's weird though. The other week, I just sat in the garden, slavering, just to see if it would ever run out. And it's amazing. I don't know where it all comes from.
What is the
That's
strangest?
extraordinary.
That's amazing.
Just to see if it would run
so
out.
now he's got to the point in his life where, as a hobby or a pastime, or just to count down the minutes before he dies,
Yeah.
he's sat in the garden
Creating sputum.
slavering to see if he'd ever run out. I mean, that's
But
amazing.
where's it all
Carl.
come from?
Well, you create it, don't you?
But from what? I'm always getting done for not drinking enough water.
Salivary glands.
But it's amazing. Honestly, I just sat like that with my head forward and just let it drip.
Wow.
me!
So Suzanne
That
comes
is
into the garden
like
and all
an
she sees is her
lobotomy patient.
boyfriend sat like something from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, like someone who'd been
dribbling.
battered around the head with a cricket bat.
No, she was
Did
reading something.
you
she
answer
was
back
sat
to
there.
a dictator? Yeah. What did he do? Battered me.
But
You
I-
got a trench up your arse as well. Yeah, that makes me slather.
No, just sat there.
What a fucking
That's
mom.
extraordinary.
What a div you are.
And I just had my head there and it continuously... I think I got bored of it before it stopped.
Oh God! I have never heard anything like this. Oh God! I need a second opinion.
Wanker.
It's unbelievable. He just sat there with his head down, slavering, letting it just.
That's
You
extraordinary.
weren't even sort of like gobbing. You were just
letting it sort of drop.
So
You've got nothing else going on in your life, but you've got time to do this.
So your brain wasn't even engaged.
How long were you there for?
I tell you what, no joking, probably a good 15 minutes.
15 minutes of sitting with his head forward,
Amazing.
letting him salivate onto the grass.
But do you reckon you could do that amount?
I would
Well,
never
we
do
never
it.
try.
Never
We'd
do
never
it.
try.
I'd
know.
never
Try.
have that amount of time.
I tell you now, you will never see either of us sat there for no reason in the garden with our head forward and our mouth open, seeing how long we can create saliva.
Unless I've just come out of a coma.
yeah, or a gas attack.
Yeah.
No, I have a lot of. I'm sort of Goz Unlimited.
That's a great new dance duo. And please welcome to the stage. It's Goz Unlimited. Amazing. Didn't you have a little bit of problem in China with them all gozzing?
Goz Unlimited.
Oh God, I tell you, they're just spitting all the time over there. I don't know what it's all about. All the time, that noise of that continuously, everywhere you look.
That good sort of footballer ball of gob that they spit and it kind of flies a couple of. I can't do it. I've tried. I can never do it.
Yeah.
If I try and spit, it just dribbles down my shirt. I don't
That's
know why
amazing.
I can't do it.
That's amazing.
I've tried in the past because it used to be cool. I remember when I was a kid, you'd hang around outside the spa.
What you've got to do is you've got to sit in a chair in the garden, just put your head forward
practice,
and
yeah.
open your mouth and just let the the all comes out. And you'll probably get bored after about 15 minutes if you're a fucking moron.
I like when you're watching the football on TV and it just goes quiet for a moment. There's like a lull in the action, and you just hear that sort of plaintive horn.
Yeah.
Come on, England. Come on, England. I just find it's so kind of mournful. It's sort of, and it's just the fact that someone's taken the effort to take it. I don't know what instrument that is. Is it a trumpet or is it just? It never sounds as elegant as a trumpet.
I don't know. Maybe
Just some
it's-
kind of horn.
It's sort of it's reminiscent of like battle though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there was you had all the cannons and everyone. Then there was one bloke that just had to walk. One bloke that carried the flag.
But it's never triumphant. It's sort of, you imagine you would have it at the funeral of a great footballer.
Yeah. Echoing around the stadium.
It's just, it always makes me slightly depressed.
Although it is safer to be him in a football match than when you're walking into battle, because if you're the fellow with the flag, you're going, well, you're a walking target.
Yeah.
Everyone can see that.
Target practice,
And
yeah.
then they go, so, and even if it's dark, I go, I can't hear it, but I'll just shoot at the sound of that trumpet.
Yeah.
And no one likes the fucking trumpet.
No one wants to hear the
Hang
trumpet
on,
with
what's the
every
trumpet?
What?
What do you mean a trumpet into war?
Well, there used to be people that would, carry an instrument that would dun, 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 or
What, in a battle?
yeah, keep them marching up, keep the morale of the soldiers. Bloke with the flag, bloke with the drum, bloke with the trumpet. I mean, think of this.
Ventriloquist?
This the Scots Guard, yeah. Diversity. They'd be,
Yeah.
they'd be
Doing
Subo at the
backflips.
back.
Yeah.
Subo at the back.
I'll
Just
put
keep.
her out the front.
St. Francis of Assisi once said, "Where there is charity and wisdom, there is neither fear nor ignorance." Acts of human charity have been documented since the beginning of recorded history. Yet even now, in the most democratic and economically advanced nations, charity is still necessary. Does this mean that charitable acts are failing to effect meaningful change? Should charity even be the responsibility of individual citizens, or is it the obligation of government? Do handouts make people lazy and dependent instead of resourceful and responsible for their own livelihoods? Is it every man for himself, or are we all in this together? To discuss these questions and more, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. Gonk.
Right.
So, Red Nose Day, Comic Relief, has come round again.
Yeah, Red Nose Day is obviously the very specific date in the calendar for the whole generic term comic relief, I think.
It's normally when the telecast happens.
Yeah.
People know that that's the day when they can dress up, do charitable acts. But of course, Comic Relief is a charity that's working all the time for disenfranchised all over the world.
And you can go to the website all year round, which is comicrelief.com.
I think there's also rednoseday.com, which is if you particularly want to donate for this year's appeal. Have you always been a strong champion of comic relief, Carl?
Not really.
Why was I expecting that answer?
Well, but I mean, we're doing a bit of charity now. Aren't we? We're donating our time. It's not much. It's not costing us anything.
But I do loads of stuff without going on about it. I don't think you should shout about the bits you do for charity, because then who are you doing it for?
Oh, exactly. I mean, well, this is my thing, isn't it? That there's a lot of people that only do it if it's in the public eye. It's to do it really to be a busybody or to show off or to feel good about themselves. And I suppose that's good and bad. I mean, if it gets you involved, if it does some good. My gift to the world has been you, Carl, to be quite honest. I feel that you're the world now.
I'm sure there's people in Africa going, we prefer blankets.
Yeah.
Doing a wills charity, isn't it?
Is it?
Sort of.
I mean,
No, it is.
if you make a donation to a charity within the will, I suppose that's quite charitable. But
Do you
just
mean-
giving money to your relatives isn't, is it?
Of course it is.
Well,
They
it
shouldn't
is.
have it.
They're
They
getting some for nothing, but it's... I mean, I don't know. It's giving something away that you have no use for.
Exactly.
Yeah,
mean,
but forget that. It's someone is getting something when
Yeah.
they've done nothing for it, really.
Well, it is. I suppose it is charity, but charity is usually infused with some sort of altruism. It's usually to do with giving a piece of something that is kindly because you could do with it. I mean, not strictly. I think you can give away something you don't need, but it's hardly donating a kidney, is it, or some of your wages? It's like it's not charity on your part because you're literally not around anymore. So it's no longer you giving it. It's just some
Yeah, but
money
I could
there
either
was.
give it them or not give it them. Once I'm dead and I've turned to mush, I shouldn't be worrying about Suzanne's mum getting a table.
Is that what
you
you're
know-
leaving her?
Well, I called up my dad first.
Why are you
and said,
doing a will for the
because
show?
of this travel thing that
Right,
I'm
yeah.
doing, and it can get dangerous, you know.
But why haven't you done a will up to now?
Because you sort of, I don't know, I felt sort of young and free. Whereas now I'm...
That's never two words I've associated with Carl. He's always seemed like a man who's in his late 50s.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
I've certainly
yeah.
never the idea that you're free.
It's more-
Even if we're just talking about the head alone, it's the head of a late 50-year-old.
Free of hair.
Yeah, totally free of fucking hair.
I'm sort of getting on first name terms with my doctor.
Oh, really?
Chatting more. Oh, what is it this time?
How's your middle finger?
You
Not
know.
too bad, Carl.
All that sort of thing. So it's just made me think.
Have you had that done for the will, by the way, for insurance
I think
and
you
stuff?
need to, don't you, for a will?
I think you do.
There's nothing on the
prostate
paper.
exam?
No.
No, listen, for insurance purposes, I think you need to have a testicular exam for testicular cancer. You're just leaving the high risk for testicular cancer, actually, and you're entering the high risk for prostate
And you
cancer.
can have both at the same time.
You could have both
the
at the same
examination
time,
at the same time.
if he's a very dexterous doctor.
I wouldn't want that.
Why? Too much like
It's just too much
playful.
going on. It's like someone juggling you.
Yeah, it's like being examined by Squiddly Diddly.
And so you said you called up your dad,
Called him up. I said, "Is there anything you want if I die?"
right? And presumably, you know, Suzanne, she's getting the lion's share.
She is. But then the fella who was on the end of the phone talking us through it all was going, "Oh, you should get married." I was going, "Oh, shut up." He's saying, "Well, it make things a lot easier when it comes to this." And it's like, well, that isn't a reason to get married, is it?
Well,
So she can have all my stuff. I said, "I've wrote on the bit of paper that she can have it. I'm not bothered. I'll be
What
dead."
did you wrote? What did you wrote?
You know, all that whatever we've got, she can have.
Yeah, great. That's fine. That's as good as a
Yeah.
marriage then, isn't
But
it?
it's something about tax. If you're not married, you have to hand over more.
Well, she'll get... Yeah, I suppose if it's money, she'll pay tax on it.
Yeah. I think you get so much and then it's like ridiculous tax rate.
yeah.
But she's going, that's why we should get married. I'm going to be paying tax. I'm going, hang on a minute. She's already like thinking about money loss instead of me disappearing.
Yeah.
She's going, yeah, we should. I said, look, you'll be getting a load of money. I said, if I die on this programme anyway, I'm insured. You'll
Yeah.
be getting about £1 million for that.
Yeah.
I said, so that's something you haven't got now.
Yeah.
Got nowhere near that now. I said, so even if you have to pay tax on that,
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be right to get married just in case I get killed.
Well, you are married, aren't you?
Well,
It's
then
as
you may
good
as well
as.
get the paperwork.
No, because then everyone wants a party. Everyone's
don't have to have a party, you could go straight down to the registry office.
honestly, people start going, oh, you should do this, and oh, it's not a proper wedding unless you do that.
Have your two sets of parents met?
No.
That'd be good, would it?
Well, I suppose it's the reason to, isn't it? At least if you're getting married, there's a reason for them to meet. At the moment, there's no reason for them to meet. They'd get on each other's nerves. My dad wouldn't get on with a man.
Why?
Just wouldn't. She doesn't like me, so she won't like me dad. Because he's just an exaggerated version. So I think it doesn't need to happen.
But you could just nip down the registry office, get it done and dusted, and you just phone up your folks and say, it's already happened, it's
I
too
said
late.
that. I said, listen, if we had to do it, I said if it was like we've got to do it for some reason, I said I'd do that. We can have it done by 2. You can be back in work for 3. Because at the end of the day, there's no, you know, we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
We're not going to suddenly turn into some sort of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan film just because we've got married.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Except she'd want a joint bank account or something. That's the only other thing that would probably change, and I don't like the idea of that.
Why?
Just, I like to know what's going on. There's enough people sticking their hand in my account, charity-wise and all that, without an extra hand going in.
Who happens to be the love of your life?
I'm not moaning about it, I'm just saying it works the way it is. You hear about people getting married, and it doesn't last. Adds extra pressure.
What pressure's it going to add? It's not going to add any pressure.
I suppose that you resent the fact that the only reason you would be getting married is because she gets your money after your death tax-free.
What if you gave her a series of challenges so that she sort
I
of earned
think
the right to have that money?
It just keeps her on her toes. Because whilst we're not married, it's easy to go, I'm sick of this. So it keeps it.
Keeps
sort
her
of,
on her toes.
But it keeps us both sort of
Because
doing
you're
stuff.
such a find, she's got to
Yeah.
work hard to keep you, hasn't she?
What have you? You never do anything in order to sort of maintain this relationship, as far as I can tell. I'm not saying
Loads.
you're a bad guy, but in terms of romantic Meg Ryan type stuff,
Right.
you never do anything.
Me and Jane were out with him and Suzanne the other night, right, at dinner, and honestly, he is so grumpy. He was saying about for Christmas, right? He said, "You've had a flaw." You've had a flaw. Now, what did that mean?
We had a new floor put in
But how is that her flaw?
because she wanted it.
But you walk on it too.
I paid for it. I don't understand what
But
you
don't
mean.
you understand that, like, you know, a romantic break or clothes or perfumes, you know, sort of things that are kind of indulgent for a lady. That's a gift, not a new floor.
That is like something you give to some little African fella on Comic Relief. In fact, I think I saw it once. He didn't have a floor.
Exactly.
They built him a floor. I remember watching it with you, and they gave him a new pair of shoes and the floor. He went, "Hold on, floor or shoes, not both." Oh, when that tsunami hit, and it was like a month after Christmas, they showed that Britain had given £2 billion, right? He was going, "That's enough." He said, before they were living in mud huts, now there's an Arndale centre.
Isn't it?
So you think charity is all right as long as people don't get above their station with charity?
I think it should be there as a little booster. Something's happened that they didn't expect. They're all a bit in shock. I don't think they'll feel bad because all they ever seem to do, these countries that are struggling, they never give anything back.
Right.
They've always got their hand out.
Right.
And it's been like that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid, people knocking on the door, my mum going, "Don't look at the door, there's someone there." And we'd just pretend they weren't
Charity
there.
starts at home, not at your home.
No, but because it's all the time. I mean, my mum didn't like answering the door anyway, even if it was the pools man, she'd sort of say, "Don't move," and he might not see that we're here.
So you just froze where a man was at the door.
Well, you just, because the front room was near the door so people
Right.
could see in.
Right.
So you just sort of stayed there and pretend that either you
Well, so
can't hear
like
him.
some sort of predator. Like, they can't see if you don't move.
What, even if he was peering in through the window and he could see you in there not moving.
So he looked through, and there was 3 people just frozen, right, like statues, right, just their eyes looking at him,
Yeah.
and him confused.
Well,
not-
they're clearly dead. I'll move on. There's obviously been a gas leak.
And did you say sitting or stand up, or did you sort of like throw yourself
No,
to
we
the
just
floor?
sat on the you know where you were and you just stayed still.
But did he ever look in and see?
I don't know because you didn't turn around, did you?
So you would pretend you couldn't hear the door.
It's easy. Honestly, the amount of times people would come round, it's either. It seemed to be the 80s had a lot of it because it was all the Avon thing, wasn't it? It was perfume,
Yeah.
Tupperware,
What?
Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Yeah, the plastic boxes.
It's dishes for fat people. Here we go. Oh, these are big. Of course they are. They're for fat fuckers like you to eat out of.
There was the pools man.
Right.
Just a lot of charity stuff. Just a lot. It seemed to be the time, the 80s, that they suddenly found out they can sort of scav money off people.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
give
there
it
was a
to
lot of scabbing.
So that's why we used to ignore the
I
door.
just love this image of you.
Yeah, so
You're in the
silent.
lounge,
Yeah.
you're having a little boogie, it's Christmas, someone's
Yeah.
tapping on the glass. Freeze! They just go, well, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Nothing here for us.
Hammer time. Silence.
Who's the last person? You have to name names, but just give a generic name to. Who's the last? Who's a
What's the point of that?
old school mate, or is it someone you've met more recently? Showbiz
Someone
pal?
more recently.
Right.
And, you know, it's fine at the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, that's good.
So what were you talking about that you got bored about?
I can't remember because I got bored with
Yeah.
it. And I'm normally... You see, the thing is, these days, people haven't got your proper attention, have they? Because it's a mobile, so you can carry on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I was ripping old raw plugs out of the wall.
Jesus.
And he was talking, and I kind of thought, I hope he doesn't say, what do you think of that in a minute, because I wasn't listening.
Right.
So what's the point of having the conversation?
I don't know.
But hold on, I call you up. It's presumably the first phone call you get. It's the first phone call I
Sometimes.
make. I call you up and I go, "What's going on, boy?" Right?
Yeah, but most of the time I don't tell you, because you'll go, right, what you doing DIY? Pay someone to do it. And we have to have all that every day, the same chat. If I'm not doing DIY, I wouldn't be doing anything. And then I get grumpy. Suzanne comes home, she goes, "What have you done today?" And I go, "Nothing." And I get fed up then, because I don't feel like I'm worth anything.
I work harder for your career than you do. I'm always doing stuff to try and get you to do stuff. I'm always trying to get you shows and things, and I'm always trying to get you to get out there and do something towards it.
I don't want to do it. I've done it now.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
We did the programme, it goes out on the telly. Job done.
Mm.
If people want to watch it, they watch it. There's no point me cropping up on Loose Women, asking people to tune into my programme. They either want to watch it or they don't. If they're watching Loose Women, I don't want them watching my programme. There's a lot of crap on the telly, and that's why, in a way, people go, "Oh, it's amazing, isn't it, that you're on the telly?" No, not really, because there's loads of garbage on there. Anyone can get on it.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's
true,
not
huh?
special anymore.
That's
It used to be
true.
special in the 80s when there was like 3 channels, 4 channels. Now it's a doddle.
But that's why you should make special TV. That I like the fact that in anything you do, 90% in any framework, in any genre you work in, is crap. That's why it's nice to be in that 10%. That's why it's nice to do something that's special. You know, the great thing about Idiot Abroad is people haven't seen anything like it before. I'm so proud of it. It's great. So the fact that you're in a genre when that something is 90% crap, that makes you look better. You should relish that.
No, because I don't think people who are watching Loose Women like it. They want some sort of flump telly, don't they? That's that they don't have to. They don't have to think about.
Yeah.
Do you mean the programme The Flumps?
He didn't say flump. He said flump.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now this is how are you spelling flump? It's FLUMF.
PH.
PH flump. PH flump.
PF.
PF. Oh,
PF?
Flump. Okay.
Flump telly.
Yeah, Flump.
Flump telly. So take it this way. So
And what would be an example of Flump telly?
what's flump telly?
No, I don't want to go slagging stuff off, but
No.
I'm just saying I watch
Who
less
would
and less
feature
telly
in
now.
Flump telly? Who would be a typical
Who's
person?
typical? Is it those? Is it all for those awful docu-soaps where people live their life like an open wound, saying, "Look, me fanny fell off," and
I haven't seen that, but yeah, all that sort of stuff. I do honestly. The amount of telly I watch now compared to a few years ago, it's non-existent. Suzanne comes home at night. I might watch a Grand Designs to get some tips off it. Other than that,
So that's work. You count that as work, don't you?
Research, at
well,
least.
it's, at least you learn something.
Does Suzanne like Grand Designs?
She likes to see the end result, to see what it looks like, but she gets bored at the beginning when it's just a load of bricks.
Right.
She's got enough of that at home.
So,
Yeah.
so, and then we'll just sit and have a game of crib. Or,
You'd have been happy in the Blitz, wouldn't you? You'd have been happy down in one of those subway stations.
Oh, Suzanne, what? What? Chimney's gone. Oh no, what was that? Doodlebug. I better go up there.
Oh, leave it. Well, it's fine. Oh, that's bloody heavy-handed, them Germans. They're bloody heavy-handed.
Well, let's go back a bit here. So you've gone down B&Q, you got your supplies, you've done a bit of tiling. Good job, please. You're halfway through. Spot a lunch around 3ish.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you pop out for lunch in a cab?
Depends. Sometimes Suzanne, as I pat her on the head, she sometimes says, "There's some ham in the fridge." I'll go, right.
I love it. Like, there's a little choreograph. If I better pat her on the head. I don't know what's going to eat today. Carl thinks, like Pavlovian conditioning.
Yeah.
Last time I patted her on the head, she told me about some food in the fridge. Bye, love. Take the rubbish out. I'm in the fridge. Cheers. Brilliant. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll eat that.
Now, just so the radio's on the whole time. Is there? Because I want to picture this. You're not working in silence. Radio's on the whole time. That little squeaky radio that's sort of halfway in the doorway of the bedroom and the lounge or whatever. You've got the radio. And what station you listen to? You listen to music? You listen to
Sometimes
speech?
I listen to sort of speech stuff.
Right.
Sometimes I listen to music.
What would be speech? Like a kind of one of those phone-in programs, or
Phone-ins do me head in a bit.
Right.
I like reports on stuff.
Right.
Just little
Radio
things.
5 maybe?
Yeah, 5 Live. That's all right.
So you like to be informed as you go?
Yeah, just so it gives me something to talk about. Because if you're not with anyone all day, your brain's not doing anything, is it? Whereas me listening to them, it's like having someone in the room telling you stuff without you having to chat back. I prefer that. I'm a bigger listener than I'm a talker.
Yeah.
Whereas these days, a lot of people are talking, but they're not listening.
Perfect.
So,
although you're not listening to actual humans like your friends when they call you up.
because they're just mithering.
And do you make sure that you get everything done and dusted before Suzanne comes home, so she comes home to a spotless place?
Yeah.
And so she comes in, do you instantly show her the work you've done, or do you just let her notice it for herself?
Sometimes I just leave it and see how long it takes for her to go, "Oh, we've done that."
Okay.
And if she doesn't notice it, are you annoyed or are you excited to tell her?
Sometimes I forget.
He does it again the next day.
That timing's a bit shoddy. I should do that. Wow, sometimes you forget. And so it's not the equivalent of when a lady comes to him and says, "Oh, you haven't noticed me new hairdo." Is it sort of the equivalent for you? If she hasn't noticed, you don't get frustrated?
Now, you do notice her new hairdos, don't you? Because you say you don't like them. So what does she say about your tiling?
No, most of the stuff I do, she goes, "That's good," but sometimes she'll go, "Why don't we just get someone in to do it?"
What, before or after?
Well, it depends what it is. If it's something that's big and has been bothering her, but it's not bothering me, I'm saying I'll sort it out.
Well, what's an example of something that's big that bothers her and not you?
I had some wires hanging out the wall that I needed to patch up the plaster.
Now, these wires, were they exposed wires, for example, that you could have touched them and got an electric shock? Or?
Yeah.
Well, that is a big thing, isn't it? That is.
Yeah, but we haven't got kids running about the house. Who's coming in messing with wires on the walls? Just don't touch it. I know they're there. You know they're there.
Right.
We don't need to put up a sign. We don't need to cone it off. We know they're hanging out. I'll sort it.
Right.
Don't worry about it. Okay. She's going to get someone in. Well, no, I won't get someone in. Because, you see, the thing is, she got someone in once when the oven blew up. Right? I said, leave it, I'll sort it, I'll look at it. No, you don't know what you're doing. Get someone in. No, let me have a look. No, get someone in. She calls someone up. They come round. The old £80 call-out charge business, straight away. They pull it out. They go, it was the fuse and the plug. Now, I could have sorted that out, but she didn't give me a chance. So now it's good now, because I've got that on the old back burner. So every time she says, let's call someone out, I'll go, oven. There's a little reminder. So I'm glad in a way that she did. But so now she just leaves it. She doesn't interfere.
Now, Carl, I've got terrible pains. Oven.
Have you sorted that problem?
Not yet.
No, so the wire's still hanging out of the wall.
Yeah, but I know what to do. It's just that I want to do the other jobs first.
Yeah, but she's concerned about that one, and it's also very dangerous.
It's not that dangerous.
Steve. Oven.
I mean, you said if I speak to anyone in the day, I normally speak to my mum and dad at some point every day.
Really?
Do you? Every
From a
day you
call.
speak to your mum and dad?
Yeah.
Could you take us through a typical conversation with your dad? He calls up.
What does he say? What does he say?
He said, I've just been out, got your mum some medicine.
Well, every time he calls, he's
No,
been
I'm
out
just
and
telling
getting-
you the last call out.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Right.
What's the weather like?
What's up with your mum?
Oh, she's got a cough. It's cold, isn't it? Winter, cold.
Yeah. Expectorant? Did you get? Was it a tickly cough or a chesty cough?
I think it's chesty. Because they've got like a coal fire, and it's when I go there, I'm always coughing and that. It's like smoking 20 a day, having one of them in the house. So she's always coughing. So yeah, he'd been out.
And she smokes 20 a day.
Been out, got some Benylin.
Does she smoke, your mum?
No, she used to.
Yeah.
Jacked it in when I was born.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
It had already done the damage.
Yeah, she smoked more through the pregnancy.
Yeah.
She looked at it and went, "Oh, I'm not smoking again."
Yeah, or drinking.
Look at that fucking head.
So yeah, he said, "Oh, the weather's bad. Is it bad there?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "I've just been out, got some medicine. What are you doing?" I said, "I'm ripping tiles off the wall." He said, "Oh, that's good." So your mum wants me to do the tiling in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So why don't you do it? He said, "Oh, it's too much of a big job."
Yeah.
So just do a wall at a time. He said, "Yeah, I might do."
Right.
He said,
I'd say I'm getting fucking bored.
He said he might just sort of plaster over the tiles and sort of, paint over that. I said, well, it's not that good though, is it? Because if you drill into it and you smash a tile in, the plaster that's on the tiles can crack and go right across. So it's easy just to take them off. So it doesn't take that long to take them off. Just do the job properly.
You're going soon.
I'm actually going the weekend, Rick.
So anyway, he just said, I might do that. But he's got nothing else to do. So that's why I was saying...
Doing let him again in.
Oh, that's good.
Just...
Sorry, go on.
And then my mum might get on, and
what's she got to say?
Look forward to this.
she just tells me a bit of it. She, like, what was it the other day? She said, "Oh, have you seen them tablets? That are food."
She's just so like you. She's just like you. Oh God, what is she, a fucking astronaut? Have you seen them tablets? What are food? Oh,
Go on,
God.
what are the tablets that are like food?
No, that's what it is. It's like the Spaceman food. They've come out and we're just chatting about them. She's saying, "Oh,
What do you mean they've come out? Really?
yeah, because we live in a busy world and everything, where people haven't got time to have a proper lunch."
Are you
and
sure
eat.
this isn't like one of those innovation things that when you can buy oxygen in a canister?
Well, didn't you buy one of those once, Rick?
Yeah.
what would you need oxygen
Well,
in a
because I was
canister
having a
for?
race with my mate, and I thought, I'll just have a bit of that on the way round. Right, it didn't work.
How far were you running?
I don't know, it was a race over a mile. And I thought,
So you were laden down with an
unfair
oxygen.
advantage here. While he was out training, I was just buying something from the innovations catalogue. Yeah.
So you were running and you had a little... You
No,
pulled
no.
it out and you went, what curses?
I took it beforehand. I thought, well, of course well, one, it didn't work, and
But
two,
what's it supposed to do? To just
well, I
kind of...
thought it would oxygenate my blood more, so I could. I mean, it was flawed. It was a flawed argument. It was a flawed
How
argument.
much did you pay for
I'll
it?
be honest. I don't know, £5 or something.
So what, you had a life in which you had enough time, knowing that there was a race coming up, to order something from the innovations catalogue.
Yeah.
What was this race? Why was...
We had a little challenge.
Was this a common thing? You had often had
I
challenges?
think I was on the dole at the time. I think I was about 25. And
I mean, if you're on the dole and you've barely got any cash, you're buying air. Oh, jeez.
yeah. I look back now. It was a folly.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's what Ricky, how he occupies his free days, Carl.
Come on, 20 odd years ago. I don't. Now I actually work out. Now, I'd like to race him now. Woo. Woo.
How is Usain Bolt?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's gone a long way. So your mum calls up. What does she say? She said there's a new pill out that's a meal. Yeah.
We chat about that for a bit, and then she always says, "Watch the road" at the end of the call.
Really?
Yeah, she's always said that. Watch the road.
She doesn't mean the film The Road with Viggo Mortensen.
No, she's just paranoid that I'm going to get run over.
Right.
So every time, I've never been run over.
No. Well, that's because she always tells you to watch the road.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case.
And do you watch the road?
Yeah, I think I do.
She means just stare out the window and watch the road.
Yeah.
She's fascinated by it.
Exactly. Watch the road. There's cars going
There's
past.
moving things. There's big bits of metal with wheels.
So, you did walk into a field of nettles once, though. Let's not forget that.
So you have a call like this, scintillating phone conversation like this every day with your parents.
Yeah.
And does she always try to find a piece of new information she thinks might interest you?
That's
each day?
sweet, though. That's
Yeah,
sweet that he talks
absolutely.
to his parents every day.
Carl, have you ever been conned?
There's always someone doing well out of me. There's always someone, if they're a little bit short, we'll go around to Pilkington.
But I mean,
Rip him
3 or 4 times a day. Sometimes I call him up and he goes, right, the washing machine's broken, they came round, they've done this, right, they couldn't fix it, but they had to call it, charge 90 quid. I called the bank and said, no, they can't do that. Turns out they can't do it. It's like a string of things where it looks like Carl's handing up money, like the end of a comic book. He goes, that's for the broken window, and there's for my sausages. It's like a queue of people just taking money off Carl.
I don't know, they're normally alright if I'm face to face with them.
Really?
Yeah, if I can sort of, if I can go in a place, but a lot of stuff now is done on the phone.
Yeah.
It's all phone, isn't it? Because it's all over the world where you're speaking to these people.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day about the alarm system, right, in the flat. Called them up, thought, it'd be good to get this going again. Have an alarm system, I haven't had one for years. Might as well use it, it's there. So, I called them up and said, there's an alarm system in this flat I bought. I want to get it going again. What's the situation? So they took a load of details and stuff, and they said, right, what you have to do, it's 400 quid a year. I said, what? So 400 quid a year. I said, what's that for? He said, if the alarm goes off, we can guarantee that a couple will be there in like a minute and a half. I said, I don't want that. I said, I'm just happy with the alarm just going off. I'll give the keys to the neighbour. No, you can't do that. You've got to have this way. I said, 400. I said, I thought alarms are meant to stop you being robbed. Did you what, sir? Don't understand sarcasm when you're talking to them people.
Yeah, just to get out your system when you know you've been conned, you just laugh in the face of adversity. I remember it was a couple of days before Christmas. I was going away, but I had a dripping tap, and it started dripping more. So there was nothing I could do. The maintenance people were away, the caretakers were. I couldn't get in, and so I called out an emergency plumber. I knew this was going to cost, but bloke came round. Honestly, he made you look smart. He was like one of those kids who looked like a lumpy child. He was probably 20, but he just looked like, you know what I mean? They'd scaled up a sort of 13-year-old big-faced lad, right? And he came in, and he didn't know how to stop it. He couldn't unscrew it. He went, I don't know what to do. I called my brother. He's there. Just that. I said, Bob, what can I do? He said, you could crush the pipe and then get it cut and fixed when you go. I said, great idea. So I said to the plumber, I said, can we crush the pipe? Oh yeah, I'll go and get a tool. We went down the van, came up with this thing, like a fat sort of little pair of pliers. He wasn't strong enough. So I went, I had to go. I said, well, how do we both do it? So we both put our hands on it, and we managed to crush the pipe, flatten the pipe, cut it off. He put a little thing on the end of it so it wouldn't leak, right? I went, great. I said, how much is that? He went, 180 quid. So I went, right, okay. So I wrote him out a cheque for 180 quid, and I thought I'll have a little bit of sarcasm. So it wasn't his idea. I helped him do it. I went, how much was that tool? He went, about £5. I went, that's paid for itself, isn't it? Silence. He went, yep, just nothing. Tough crowd, right? Of course. Right. So I signed the cheque. Like, he went, oh, he said, I forgot to charge you for the little washer on the end. I went, how much is that? He went, £2.50. I went, can I give you that in cash? He went, yeah. I went, there you go, there's the £2.50 for the washer on the end, and there's the £180. And he went, and that was it. I didn't even get a little chuckle. He didn't even think, he should have gone, well, let's split that, because we both did that. Yeah, that's 90 quid each. I go, okay, that's brilliant, mate, cheers. Here's a Christmas bonus. I have a fascinating tale to tell you, Carl. I think you'll be intrigued. When I do junkets for films in America or Toronto Film Festival, I was assigned a security, and I've had security before. I often have security. They just sort of get you in and out of the car, and usually just to control sort of autograph hunters and things. But this time I was given a security, and he came in a suit. He looks about 30. He looked quite unassuming. I thought he was from just a security firm, and there was a couple of them. And first of all, they were talking to each other, and I thought, well, the stakes are higher here. I don't know. I don't know why. And they drove us to the hotel, and there was loads of people going to the hotel. I mean, much bigger stars than me. You know, there was Ed Norton and George Clooney, and they were going in and out. And he goes, we can go past these. And he called ahead And he knew everyone. He just knew everyone. And we went down in the car park. We were met by another security guard in the hotel that let us go past everyone. I mean, Clooney's having to queue up and sign. I'm thinking, this is weird. And I was feeling a bit guilty because I was there to promote the film. And I think this security guard's so good, I'm never going to ever have to pump into anyone. It was amazing. And they was there the next day, and he took us to the junket and back, and he put us on the thing. And then it turned out that he was actually LAPD, who was doing this for celebrities because he earned more money. And then I found out he had a gun, so I can't come in the airport with you, I can't take my gun. So he's armed. So I've got a security who's an LAPD who's armed, and I'm fascinated. Now I'm fascinated. This man is walking around with me with a little earpiece, talking to everyone. He seems to know everyone, and he's got a gun. I think, oh, this is amazing. Then one night he said, he dropped me off at the hotel, and he said, I've actually been called, I've got to go on a mission, they need my help. I said, really, what is it? He said, it's a hostage situation. He said, and I'm also SWAT. So now this is amazing. He's now officially the coolest man I've ever met in my life. So he goes off. Then I'm thinking, I'm worried about him. I was talking to Jane, I was thinking, wow, he does this, he gets this extra cash, he's risking his life, and now he's going to a hostage situation. And I was thinking, oh God, he's just a silent hero. So next day he comes, I said, how was it? He said, I was fine. He said, I just turned up. He said, I had to do it in my suit. He said, because I'm the negotiator.
What?
So now he's an armed security guard who's an LAPD, who's special SWAT, and he's one of 9 negotiators in LA. We're in LA now. We'd come from Toronto, went via New York and LA. So I went, oh my God. And I just asked him questions for 2 hours. So the first thing that happens is, so someone runs in with a hostage. This guy, who's just a kid, who was 19, he'd done a robbery. He'd panicked and he'd run away. The police were after him. He ran in and he took his kid with him. It was just a 3-year-old kid. Okay. That often happens. Most hostages that people take are their family, because it's all they've got. And they go, I'm going to kill my wife or my kid and that. And they don't mean it. They're not going to. But they need a hostage. They've got a gun. So he talks to them and he says things to them like, you know, you didn't mean this to happen, did you? They went, no, he said they got out of hand. It just got out of hand. And he has to let them trust him, because they've got a hatred for the police, of course. They don't trust the police. And the first thing he does is call the phone company and say, what's the number of this address? He goes, change it by 1 digit. So now only he can call that number, because of course you can't have an engaged signal. If they haven't got a phone, they have to throw a phone through a window. So they've got to have contact with this guy. You know? I said, what happens if this guy says, you're never going to get me out, I'm going to kill all the hostages? He said, then my sole purpose is to get him to stand near a window. I went, wow. Now apparently there's a police marksman ready, of course, if they think they've lost him. The important thing is you've got to take him out, because you've got to protect the innocent. So how they shoot him is they shoot him in the top lip, and it takes out the brainstem, so there's no reflex. And I'm just being absolutely, I'm captivated. What do you think of that, Carl, as a job? It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, once you've done one, though, it's like any job, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah.
Once you've done one.
Yeah,
Not impressed?
Boring, yeah.
No, it's good.
Could you do it? Do you reckon you could do it? Do you reckon you could negotiate someone out of a hostage situation?
Well, I think in one of them things, there's nothing you can do. It's like, it doesn't matter if it goes wrong, because
well, it
you
does.
did your bit. No, it's like being a vet, isn't it?
Not really. Not really, because that's ridiculous thing to say.
It's nothing like being like a vet.
No, it is. What I mean is, you're expected to make the little kitten live.
No, there's loads of it. Because I was saying, so he says, I need a car by 5 o'clock, or I'm going to kill someone. He then makes sure that he doesn't kill anyone, but he makes sure that car doesn't come till 5:15. Even if it's there, he keeps going, it's on its way, because then the hostage knows that he's not in control, really. Even if it's as easy as saying, I want my wife here, and he can get her there at 5, he makes sure she doesn't turn up till 5:20.
Yeah.
It's just little things like that that's just absolutely fascinating. The psychology of it is just amazing.
But he's not bothered, is he?
He is
15
bothered.
minutes late.
He is, because he really takes he empathises with these guys, and he says, no, you've got to understand.
No,
He
but the
says-
fella in the house with the gun,
yeah.
he's not going anywhere. 15 minutes either side doesn't matter. Well, why is he in a rush?
I don't think Carl's getting how
Not sure he
important,
is.
how
No,
amazing
I'm
he
not
is.
sure
You said
Yeah.
they make the car 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
He's getting his car. That
Yeah,
bloke's not in a rush.
He's never going to get in the car, is he? That's the other thing as well, because once a bloke said to him, I need a car, and he just went, where are you going to go? And the bloke went, yeah, forget that. He has to make them forget their deadlines and their demands. So soon it doesn't matter. And he has to get in their head. But to do that, he says that he has to empathise with them to a certain extent. He has to understand why they're doing it, to talk to them and go, yeah, you've had a bad day.